Russian soldiers who are not ready to fight against Ukraine are forced to become deserters. It is a risky decision, but it could be salvation from Vladimir Putin's dictatorial regime. Journalists from the French newspaper Le Monde spoke with several Russian soldiers who decided to desert. Ilya Veitsler, 22, and Danil Arkhipov, 24, are among several dozen Russian deserters who have found refuge in Europe. They told reporters what they had to face in the war against Ukraine. On the front lines, I realized that the invasion of Ukraine was a crime against humanity, against a brotherly nation, so I refused to take part in it. Weitzler, who moved with his wife to the French city of Metz, told reporters. The publication noted that Veitsler and Arkhipov decided not to hide their identities. They are confident that Russian special services will search for known deserters less than those who are hiding. Journalists learned that Weitzler served in the army even before the Russian invasion of Ukraine. According to him, he wrote reports on fuel consumption on military vehicles in Kaliningrad. Nevertheless, after February the 24th, 2022, an order was received to send him to Ukraine. Weitzler admitted that his wife Anastasia immediately tried to dissuade him from going, as she is critical of Putin's regime. She reminded her husband of what the Russian army did in Bucha and other Ukrainian cities. The publication added that Weitzler was sent to Zaporozhye region, where he ended up in a mortar unit. He said that he was not prepared for this type of combat and his superiors regularly got drunk. The soldiers used this to influence their decisions and thus avoid being sent to the front lines. Those who refused were locked in basements. Weitzler said, "The deserter shared that on July the 8th, 2022, he injured his leg when the roof of his camp collapsed. He was then evacuated for treatment and then given leave. He then tried unsuccessfully to quit the army. After much deliberation with Anastasia, we came to the conclusion that desertion was the only solution." Weitzler told reporters that in February 2024, he and his wife left Russia for Belarus, then flew to Armenia, and from there to Montenegro. There, the deserter testified to UN experts investigating war crimes by the Russian army. Weitzler later travelled through Bosnia to Croatia, where he filed his first request for political asylum. He then continued to Hungary, and in December 2024, he flew from Budapest to Paris. During the flight to France, Weitzler received support from the anti-war organization Identities, which is based in Georgia. The second Russian soldier, Arkhipov, told reporters that he was most afraid of being caught by Russian special services. He stressed that he did not support Russia's invasion of Ukraine. If Putin wins this war, he will have carte blanche for further offensives. He must be stopped. That is why I deserted. Arkhipov said. The deserter said he was not going to return to Russia. He showed journalists his right hand, which was missing a little finger. The former Russian soldier admitted that he had wounded himself to save his life. Arkhipov admitted that on August the 11th, 2023, during the Battle of Bakhmut, he hid in the forest and pulled the pin from a grenade he was holding in his hand. This was his way of getting the chance to leave the Russian army. The pain from the explosion was excruciating. Even painkillers didn't help, but I felt free. Every week, my comrades intentionally maimed themselves. The officers who figured out this trick sent them to the guardhouse and then sent them back into battle, to certain death, Arkhipov told reporters. After being wounded, he was evacuated to the occupied Luhansk region and then sent to a hospital in the Russian city of Rostov-on-Don. Later, Arkhipov hid in the Russian Federation and then went to Armenia. Using a new Russian passport, he flew on a long journey with a transfer in Paris. This is how he arrived in France. Weitzler and Arkhipov told reporters that many Russian soldiers dreamed of deserting. However, they had to remain on the front lines because the army kept them in check, both materially and psychologically. Desertion is a disgrace in Russia, but we made the right choice. Other people should know that they can escape. Weitzler and Arkhipov commented on their actions.
India's southern state of Kerala on Monday asked fishermen not to venture near the site of an accident where a container ship carrying hazardous cargo sank off its coast in the Arabian Sea. According to Associated Press, Kerala state also issued a high alert along its coastal areas. The Liberia-flagged MSC Elsa III was sailing between the Indian ports of Vizhinjam and Kochi when it sank about 38 nautical miles off Kerala early Sunday. All 24 crew members were rescued, India's defense ministry said. The vessel went down with 640 containers, including 13 with an unspecified, hazardous cargo, and 12 containing calcium carbide. It also had 84.44 metric tons of diesel and 367.1 metric tons of furnace oil in its tanks. The Kerala Chief Minister's office on Monday urged people to stay away from some of the containers that began washing ashore. It also advised fishermen not to venture too close to the sunken ship. Indian Coast Guard on Sunday said it had sent an aircraft with an oil spill detection system to survey the area. It also deployed a ship carrying pollution control equipment to the site of the accident. Russia and Ukraine exchanged hundreds more prisoners on Saturday as part of a major swap that amounted to a rare moment of cooperation in otherwise failed efforts to reach a ceasefire. According to Associated Press, the exchange came hours after Kiev came under a large-scale Russian drone and missile attack that left at least 15 people injured. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky and Russia's defense ministry said each side brought home 307 more soldiers on Saturday, a day after each released a total of 390 combatants and civilians. One of the released Ukrainian soldiers, Dmytro Havrilenko, had an emotional reunion with his family upon arrival. "It was a tough 17 months, but everything is fine now," he told reporters. Further releases expected over the weekend are set to make the swap the largest in more than 3 years of conflict.